Eric.
Hi, Cassie. I wasn't. Was I supposed to be ready? Is that my bad?
Okay. You would think after a while we would figure this out.
I'm gonna submit
It's
a
like we've
formal
done this
apology letter that says,
enough
I'm sorry I
times.
wasn't ready when we were starting the recording of episode, what would this be, 16?
16. 16 times. You think we would have figured this out by now and have a system, but we still don't.
You know what, though?
What?
I just realized the flower is directly in front of me. I need to water. I haven't watered these in a bit. I may be pronouncing this. It's a begonia. It's like a Rieger begonia.
Yeah, you don't seem like a house plant person to me, to be honest.
Well, I have some, and I just realized because I move when recording this in a different spot than I normally do in the house, and there's just flowers right in front of me, and I'm like, why have I not watered those?
Because up until now they were out of sight, out of mind.
Because the way my brain works. My brain is so like spontaneous what it decides it notices, and the rest of it completely like unnoticed.
That's why I'm shocked that you have houseplants.
Fair. It's from the standpoint of like one of those things where people will do this thing where they'll do like the comment about how come you didn't clean up that mess, or how come you didn't clean up the thing pick up the thing you saw on the ground, right? And it's like, for some people, it's because they don't care. They can't be bothered. It's one or the other. And I don't know how common this is or isn't, but at least for me, it's usually more of the case of because my brain didn't process that even existed until like spontaneously it does at some point.
Who is saying this kind of stuff to you other than your mom?
Mostly my mom.
Okay. I was like, as you said it, I was like, that's a mom sentence.
I mean, it is. Yeah. It is. But like,
just the next time I have friends over, I'm just gonna be like, why didn't you pick that up?
No, but like still that mindset, right? Like people that will clean as they go because they see stuff, or like if they see a mess, they'll stop and take care of it, or they directly ignore it. But like, and I don't know how common it is one way or the other, but for me at least, it's usually that I don't even process it.
I'm always cleaning to some extent. I spill something on the counter, I wipe it up immediately. Or if I don't notice it or something like that, but I pass by the counter and I see it, I can't ignore it after that. Like once I see it has to be taken care of.
Yeah. Well, to an extent, it's the same thing for me. Once I see it, it has to be taken care of, but I have to have seen it and my brain has to have like taken note of it. Like to the extent that these flowers have not been watered for like a day or two, only just now noticed them, and literally it's bothering me to the point that I kind of want to get up and water them right now, but I'm in the middle of something. What's weird with my cleaning though is, like I said, it's always I have to notice it, but once I notice it, then it's like a compulsory thing. Like the second my brain notices it, it's going to bother me if I don't fix it kind of stuff often. I mean, it depends on what it is. Depends on how hard it would be to clean. I've done it before where like you're about to leave the house to go somewhere and then you like spot the counter and for some reason your brain says, hey, look, there's dishes I haven't done yet. And then like you have to do them before you leave because it's going to bother you if you don't. Even though you may have left them there for a while already. But like once you notice it, your brain says, I have to right now.
And it's weird the urgency that your brain suddenly has for it. But when you put them there was no urgency.
Yeah, it's like an urgency of no, you have to stop whatever you're doing. Doesn't matter what you're doing. You have to do it right now. Ignore the fact that you've completely ignored this for who knows how long.
Well, as you know, I recently just spent a lot of time deep cleaning my house. That was the never-ending day, was just noticing things that haven't been cleaned in a long time, and I'm like, it needs to be cleaned now. And it was one of those things where once I started deep cleaning, then I'm just like, do I ever clean? What is all this?
Yeah.
Which, I mean, you've been to my house. I feel like my house is clean, but man, it's just like once you start getting the nitty-gritty, you're like, this is disgusting.
I know you keep saying deep cleaning. But the first time you said it, my brain almost processed it as de-cleaning. Like you de-cleaned your house. And I'm like, isn't that just normal life that you de-clean a house?
I live here, so it's just de-cleaned it.
You're like, it looked a little bit too neat and I didn't like that. So I decided I had to de-clean my house real quick. Just took some time to, scatter some stuff around.
I think that would stress me out.
Intentionally making your house messy?
I don't think I could do it. Not intentionally.
Like, let's say, hypothetically, that you had told somebody in like a movie style comedic situation where you were like trying to make up some story that your house was a disaster and that's why you couldn't go to something. And then they decided to just let you know they were about to stop by in 10 minutes. Could you like disasterify your own house? Like to make it believably a disaster. So when they showed up, it felt like it was authentic.
In the sitcoms, when that moment happens and the person, you can see the internal struggle. Yeah, that's how I feel. I don't think I could do it.
You don't think you could disasterify your own house?
I think if anything, that I would rather just gaslight them into thinking I never said that than make my own house dirty.
And or try to just gaslight the story that you're like that good at cleaning that you had cleaned it up that quickly. Or present the idea that you are just such a like particular person that this is your idea of a disaster.
Yes. I'm just going to present that like this is my house as a disaster.
You're just going to take like 4 books, put them on the counter and be like, see, there's books out. It's a disaster.
It's so messy. Yeah. But there's nothing better than when you're doing like a home project and your house does get a little chaotic. You know what I mean? Because you're obviously not going to put everything away when you're still doing a project and like all that kind of stuff. There's nothing better than the end of a project when you can put everything away. And you're just like, house is clean, you know?
You don't put your stuff away as you go?
Not if you're still doing the project. You can put stuff away when you're done completely, but there's no point in putting away and getting it back out and putting it away.
Because you know the second you put it away, you're going to need whatever it was you just put away.
Yeah, so I don't know. Like a long time ago, we built bookshelves in our basement. It's like, we're just going to bring everything to the basement that we're going to need. And as we use stuff, we'll bring it to the basement. And then
did you bring the books to the basement that you're going to need?
Yes. Yeah. Well, yeah, you have to figure out how tall you want the shelves.
No. You don't figure out how tall you want the shelves. You put in adjustable shelves from the get-go, and then you can adjust them as needed.
No, these are big shelves. They're just going in. But anyway, so you bring everything down, and then when you finish the project, then you put everything away. Or some people like to finish the project and then leave everything there for another month or two, just in case.
Or, and here's a really great idea. Stick with me on this one. You don't put anything away because you never finish the project, and you just leave the stuff in a big old pile for when you finish the project.
Oh, yeah, I guess that's what I meant by it just stays there for like another month or so.
Because that's the state that my basement is currently in.
That you just never finish the project?
Well, the basement, so for context, you know this because I think you've seen it. It's only like one room. It's not like a whole basement. It's basically just a room because the house is like a split level. So like the basement is not a full-size basement room. It's kind of just like the utility side and then the room. But it's kind of in a state of half finished because we've never finished it.
Do you think you're ever going to finish it?
Oh, eventually. Like I would bet within the next year or two it'll get finished because it'll need to be well, it won't need to be, but I think we want to, like, for reasons. For reasons.
I don't know why the second you said, I bet, I wanted to bet you. I don't know.
Oh, you wanted to be like, how much though? How much?
I bet you your slushing machine.
No, absolutely not.
I'm just kidding. I don't have any more room for appliances.
You know the thing is, so I don't bet. I'm not a gambling man, right? I don't go to casinos or gamble or do any of that. I do use the phrase I would bet you or like those kinds of things a lot, and people would be like, really, how much? And I'm like, I always have to rephrase it to okay, if I were a betting man, I would bet you. Yeah. Because it's always you say it and then they're like, oh, really? You're like, no, I was kidding. I wouldn't actually bet you that because I don't bet.
We need to get you to start saying, I would bet you. I won't, but I would.
Well, that's why you say I would, right? It's not I will bet you. It's I would bet you.
Maybe you should say I could. I could bet you.
I could, but I won't.
I could bet you, but I won't. I'll refrain.
It's honestly not that weird of a phrase, but it feels like such a weird phrase. Like if someone walked, like you were having a conversation with someone and they're like, you know what, I could bet you money that would have happened. And it's like, this sounds weird, that I could bet you. Although actually, if it's in the past tense, I have heard that I could have bet you money that would happen. I've heard that before. That's
true. My sister and I make bets a lot.
Like small level bets?
Yeah, I like $1, $5, or it'll just be like you have like loser buys lunch kind of thing.
Why?
We're gambling addicts. Sure. Never really. I'm just kidding. I don't know. It's just sometimes it's just like trivial things. It's just funny. Like I don't know. Like I'm trying to think of like an example, but it'll be like we'll be talking about like I don't know, maybe one of our parents will be like, oh, what's their favorite color? And then we'll have like a disagreement about it. And then we'll make just like a bet on it. Like,
yeah. See, my family, we just do it for bragging rights.
Yeah. You can brag and have $5.
You could, or you could brag and not be out $5 if you lose.
Yeah. But the thing is you do it enough times. I mean, that $5 just goes back and forth. Only
if you're good at winning periodically or it's equal amount of winning.
You don't think if you make 10 bets, you don't think at some point you're just going to swap that $5 around a few times?
No. I could bet you $5 that if I made 10 bets, I would win them all.
You could bet me. I could bet you won't. So
I won't because I probably would lose that bet, but I could bet you that.
As the only person in this conversation that's won a bet.
No, what you have to do is you have to just make sure you only take bets that you're guaranteed to win. So basically what I'm saying is...
That's not betting.
Set up your bets so that you know you're going to win, which I believe is illegal. Fixing bets, I think.
Yeah. It's definitely not accepted.
Definitely the kind of thing that gets you taken out back at the casino.
Or kicked off teams and stuff if you throw the game, you know?
Kicked off teams. Oh, you mean like sports?
Yeah, like sports. That's usually where people are on
For
teams.
some reason, and I don't know why because I've never used it, but you said kicked off teams, and all I could picture was like the Google program.
This is how we know you're really athletic.
Like the Google Teams. And I'm like, so you kicked off the Zoom call?
Have you ever been on a sports team?
Like an actual sports team? Like even like beyond like casual, you're at a park and people say, hey, let's play this game, right? You're saying like an actual
like
any
a team.
level.
Like you show up on a regular basis to play or practice or whatever. But like...
Nope, never, not a once.
Never?
Never.
Should we join a kickball league?
Why kickball?
You on a team? It just seems like the sport you'd be good at.
Why?
I don't know. You kick.
If I'm going to be good at a sport, Cassie, it's going to involve as little activity as possible.
Like what? What's
chess.
Your sport? Yeah,
although that requires a brain. I can't do chess.
And we wouldn't really be on a team. That's a solo sport.
What sport do you think takes the least physical activity?
Oh, that's hard.
Should I look it up? Should I Google it and see what Google says what sport?
I mean, I know they say like football, they play the least amount of minutes or whatever, but there still is running involved. I was thinking ping pong, but man, have you seen professional ping pong players?
They're crazy.
A cardio workout. That's wild. There's gotta be a sport that doesn't take...
Here we go. What athletic sport takes the least amount of energy? Fishing. Ooh, fishing's pretty easy.
Fishing! Again, no. Can you be on a team?
Archery or darts, because you don't really have to do a like run. That's just like...
Darts. That's darts. So true.
I could do darts. I could see being a darts person.
Okay. Darts.
Right? Like, except for the fact that I don't drink. You could see me at like a bar playing darts like every weekend, right?
I could see that.
I feel like I have darts energy.
And you love to heckle? I don't know why I feel like you'd be good at playing darts. You'd be great at
darts
heckling.
A sport known for its heckling?
No, I think you would be good at it. You would bring heckling to
What
darts.
does that have to do with darts specifically?
Well, I just feel like it'd be easier. It's just like when I picture you heckling another team, I do picture you sitting in a chair.
Like a tall, one of those tall chairs at like one of those tall tables, like small circular tables with two chairs next to it.
Sitting, and then you like to insult, and then maybe a bigger guy gets mad, and then you use the table as a way to like get away. You know?
No, I can't heckle too much because I don't want to break my streak of having never been punched.
Oh, that's so true. I don't know. Do you think someone would punch you? I don't think so. I feel like you have this way about you that even if you were heckling someone and they were upset, I feel like they'd still take pity on you.
I was going to say, right before you said that, I was going to say, I have this thing. You mean pity? People pity me?
People pity you. Yeah.
They look at me and they're like, I'm going to punch you. And then they see my face and they're like, nah, I can't.
Well, I mean, I think it's a fine line between being like pitied. Admired isn't the word I'm looking for. Tolerated, maybe?
Tolerated. Pitied and tolerated. There's a fine line between pity and tolerated.
Why would you have a shirt that says that now? I'm pitied and tolerated.
No. A shirt that says there's a fine line between being pitied and being tolerated. I'd wear it. I'd wear that shirt. The real question is, if I give darts vibes, what sport do you give? And why is it water polo?
I do like swimming.
Is it? Okay. People might get mad at me for this. But isn't water polo just lacrosse but in the water? Because don't they use like the same like sticks with the nets?
I don't think you use sticks. You just use your hands, right? But yeah, you have like a goal
I thought
on
they
each
had like
end.
those net things.
No, I think they just use their hands, and then they have a goal on each end, and then you have to like jump around in the water.
Or do I know nothing about water polo? Maybe that's it.
I think maybe you just know nothing about water polo. Yeah, they just use their hands. Yeah, you just use your hands and then jump around.
What was I thinking then?
You know what? I've never, ever tried water polo. I'd try it. Yeah.
I feel like you'd like it. I feel like it's a kind of sport you'd enjoy.
Yeah, I would try water polo. Why not? You know what I always wanted to try was
cross-country skiing.
Ooh, I don't want to do that.
Which one did you say?
I said I had always wanted to try roller derby, but I was too scared. Which is exactly why I shouldn't.
Well, actually, you have the aggression for roller derby. I don't know if you have the like structure. Is the wrong word. Constitution. I don't know if you have the constitution for roller derby.
I think I have aggression.
Yeah, I think you could be violent if you needed to be in roller derby.
That's true. I think I could.
I would say you'd be great at like the body slamming people, but actually I don't know if you have the mass for body slamming.
Yeah, because I'm tall, so I'm like, I think I could, but man, some of those roller derby women, you know?
Yeah, but like if you really want to be like the battering ram kind of person, you need to be like shorter and like big so that you can have like the center of gravity.
I think I'll stick with water polo.
Yeah, I think water polo is better for you. It's safer.
I did tennis in high school. That was my.
It's not surprising at all.
Sport. Yeah.
You seem like a tennis player. You know what? I could see you being a tennis player.
But I only like doubles. I don't want to play single tennis.
In fact, if you were going to hypothetically end up at Olympic level sport anything, I feel like I could see you being a tennis player.
Maybe you should see me play tennis first.
No, I'm not saying like from a athleticism, because you don't have anywhere near the athleticism to be even remotely Olympic level. But like,
oh gosh, no.
From like just the like a person vibes, I could see you being like Olympic level tennis. Like you feel like the kind of person that if I was watching the Olympics and I saw
you wouldn't be surprised.
Tennis,
you'd be like, yeah.
And I saw you, I would be like, yeah, that makes sense. Like let's say not even knowing you, right? Like just saw you, like just visually, I'd be like, yeah, that looks like someone who plays tennis. Kind of like how I'm someone who plays darts.
Is darts an Olympic sport?
I think so. I'd be surprised if it's not.
Olympic sport.
Considering enough things are, I would be shocked if it's not.
It's not. It's not an Olympic sport.
It's not?
It's not.
How?
Let's see. There's a few reasons. One is being the long-standing perception of darts as being a pub game.
Wow.
So yeah, I guess most people feel that darts is not physically demanding enough. And
Wait a
does
minute.
not actually require
darts is not physically
skill.
Demanding enough, and yet they've had chess in the Olympics before?
Some of those kids break a sweat. I don't know. People are fighting for it. People are really fighting for darts, but it's, as of right now, it's not.
Oh, wait, no. Chess is not currently in the Olympics either. I think it has been, but it's not currently either. Because it lacks the required physical exertion. You know what that means, though? Is that, well, chess is not in the Olympics because it doesn't have the required physical exertion. Chess boxing should be able to be in the Olympics, right?
True. It should.
Which, if you don't know, for context of those of you that don't know what this is, I don't know if you know what chess boxing is.
I do not.
Okay. Basically, it's exactly what it sounds like. You have these two people, and what they do is they basically play like 30 seconds of chess or something, which for chess is actually a lot because they go back and forth pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And then they do a round in the ring of boxing, and then they go back to chess and then back to boxing and back to chess and back to boxing. And I don't know if it's over when someone wins on only one, or if they have to win both, or how it's scored. But I know it's just back and forth between the boxing and the chess.
I think you'd have to win both.
Well, the logic behind it is that basically you're straining the boxing is straining your body and your energy, so it's going to affect your mental faculties and how good you are at the strategy of the chess side.
Well, why don't they just put treadmills under the table and then you have to be like running while doing?
I want to see this, but not like walking. I want to see like full on like they're trying to do a 100-meter sprint level of sprinting.
I was gonna say, it's got to be like the treadmill's on like a 6.
So they're sitting there. You've got these two contestants that are just full on sprinting, like pouring sweat while trying to also play chess.
I think that's how it should be. Yeah. What else could you be doing while you're playing chess? I wonder.
You could get one of those like under table bicycle things that people have.
Yes, you can be riding a bike.
But you need something that takes more like actual exercise. Better yet, let's put them on treadmills. But let's figure out a way to have treadmills that also have like hurdles, so they have to like keep jumping the thing while also playing chess.
Maybe what it is it's CrossFit chess, right? So they have to do a CrossFit circuit, then play chess, and then do a CrossFit circuit, and then play chess.
I don't know why, but I was picturing, you know, like burpees, where it's like the push up and then you jump up to your feet and do like the star jump thing and then go back down. It's if you had like the table set high enough that you can only see it when you're standing, so you have to like go up and take your move, then go back down and do the push up, and then go back up and take your move and go back down. But then you only film the competition from the table height, so you just see the people popping up and going back down, and you don't realize what's happening.
You just see when they only make the move.
I'm trying to picture what it's literally like whack-a-mole, but they're like playing chess.
Right?
Better yet,
yeah.
Relay chess. This might be a thing too, but relay chess. You have a team of 4, and you're taking turns. But you're not allowed to communicate with your team. So you have to basically analyze as a group what the previous person did and try to figure out a group strategy.
No, I like the idea of just like this chess table. Yeah, like you have a big, you have like a track, and it's just like as the person comes by, they get to make one move, and then you have to immediately keep running. And so it's like in a weird way, they never stop running. They're just running, and then they stop for 30 seconds and then go running again.
Yeah, but if you made it, because actually that could be kind of interesting, because then it's how well does your team like coordinate their ideas and their strategies. Because you could have one person who's like, I'm thinking I want to do this strategy, but someone else doesn't realize that, and you could end up accidentally like, because you're not playing all at once. So regardless of if you come up with plans farther ahead, you like your teammate wouldn't necessarily have the same ideas, right?
Right. I was thinking they should incorporate this into Wipeout. You know?
Ooh, yes.
Like you have to do a Wipeout course and then make a chess move. And then your next team member comes through and they have to make the next move. And it's just like
chess inception, chessception. Okay? New idea. A chess game. But every time one piece tries to claim another piece, you have to stop, play a game of chess, and whoever wins that game of chess gets to claim the piece. So even the defender, in like if it's my turn and I was attacking your piece, you could win if you won the second game of chess.
Okay.
I've also seen one.
I was like, is that it?
No. I've also seen one. I've heard about this. That's called like chaos chess or something. And they take like 4 chess. I think it's like 4 full sets. So like 2 full sets of chessboard. So like not 4, but like 4, I guess, teams. So you have twice as many potential pieces. And then they put them in like a bag. And then when they go to put them on the board, they just pull the right number out randomly. But that means what you have is not necessarily the same as what the other person has.
I'm sorry. My brain went on a tangent.
Okay.
Can you say that again?
Oh, so you weren't even listening?
I just like didn't comprehend it.
Okay,
I was listening, but I didn't comprehend.
I was saying it's where they'll take like 4 teams worth, so like 2 black sets and 2 white sets of chess, put them in like a bag, and then they'll like mix them up, and they'll pull out, when you set up your board, instead of doing a normal setup, you just pull out the right number of pieces of your color, so that your setups are not necessarily the same as far as what you have.
Oh, okay. I got it. Because you just pull out the number of pieces, but the pieces could be random. Which ones you actually
so you could be someone who has you could have like extra rooks but have no bishops, or you could have like 2 queens but have more pawns than normal kind of stuff.
But what if you don't have a king?
Well, I would assume you would start with a king by default.
Okay, they probably give you the king to start off with, and then you pick the rest of the pieces. That would make the most sense.
Yeah.
What if you get 2 kings? That seems like a disadvantage. Or then you can spread them out, and then it's like, do they have to capture both or one to win?
I don't know. How does a monarchy of like in a government system, how does a monarchy work when there's 2 equal rank kings? Do you have to take them both out?
Yeah, I would think so, because if you just take out one, the other one just takes over until they fill the position again.
So then, yeah, it'd actually be an advantage because you have to take out both kings.
Yeah, because I was thinking it could be a disadvantage because you have twice the chances to lose, but it actually could be an advantage if you can keep them separated, because then they have to attack you on 2 fronts, you know?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know chess strategy. I'm not really a chess player, but I don't know chess strategy to know what is actually the best there in regards to like, would 2 kings actually be an advantage or disadvantage? Assuming they had to take them both.
Not as a chess player, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying as a basic. Wow. I didn't know where to go with that, because I was gonna say a basic strategy idea, but I don't want to give the impression I'm great at strategy either. So
I feel like
I was like, where am I going with this?
Feel like it would be a disadvantage, and not so much because of the fact that they have to take both, or that you have 2 that are vulnerable. I think it'd be a disadvantage because that means you're giving up another piece.
Yes.
And because kings are the weakest piece other than pawns, I would think it's a disadvantage because you're losing something else. And unless you're able to lose a pawn, that means you're giving up either a rook, bishop, knight, or your queen, technically. And all of those would be a bigger disadvantage than having a second king.
Well, that's what I was saying. Like, I could see it. I think it being an advantage or disadvantage would completely depend on the player.
Yeah, because if I was playing, it'd make no difference because I'm bad at chess either way.
Right. I mean, like, you and I playing, it's still just random, right? It doesn't really matter. There is no disadvantage or advantage.
Can I tell you my favorite chess story?
Please.
It's a story from my family. But so I'm not great at chess, as I've established. And one of my brothers is better than me, but he's not as good as one of my sisters is. At least at the time. I don't know if it's the case now, because at the time I was like at most like 8 or 9, and my brother would have been like 10 or 11 at that point. And then the sister that I'm referring to was like probably, I don't know the exact math on that. Should have been like 18, 19, something like that. Anyway, I was playing chess against my brother, failing miserably. I got down to, I believe it was the king, a pawn, and a bishop. Okay. He still had like probably 70% of his pieces. I was like, I'm losing. And my sister was like, I'll take over. She took over and proceeded to win.
Yeah.
Because she just decimated the rest of his pieces and then won.
Right. Because that's the thing. It's all about, it's just, what is that? It's like people who are really good at stuff can make do. You know what I mean? It's like that whole like you don't know what you don't know. It's like you didn't realize what you could do with those pieces. So it's like you
don't know.
weren't even
How's
aware.
that relate to chess?
No, I'm just saying, for us, it's like we don't really know all the strategy and intricacies of chess, right? So it's like we don't have the ability to see what we're missing, right? Because we don't know that we're missing it. Whereas like someone who knows what they're doing can come in and be like, oh, it's right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's like she came in and was like, oh, it's so obvious. Just do this. You know?
It is funny that we've been talking about chess for like 20 minutes and both of us are very bad at chess.
We don't know anything.
This has been Chess Corner with two people that don't play chess.
Well, I mean, who better to explain chess to probably people who also don't know how to play chess than people who don't know how to play chess?
Tune in next episode to hear us discuss the strategies of curling.
Listen, I was going to ask you about this when we were talking about the Olympics, because I feel like everyone makes fun of curling, but then when you talk to people about Winter Olympics, people are very excited to watch curling.
You know what's weird?
I'm confused by that.
I feel like curling is simultaneously the most made fun of sport in the Winter Olympics and also the most talked about sport in the Winter Olympics.
That's what I'm saying, right? Because everyone like makes fun of curling. It's like, I don't get it. It's a dumb sport. But then everybody I've like, and not even people I know, but just like I'll be listening to something and people will be like, oh, you know what? I actually really like watching curling.
That's because curling,
is
a sport
it's weird
that doesn't make sense and looks very silly, but actually makes a lot of sense and takes a lot of talent and it's kind of impressive.
Yeah.
But looks so silly.
Most sports are impressive. But yeah, it does look
silly. Like I've seen a number of clips. I don't tend to watch the Olympics like actively. I tend to just see highlights or things like that.
Highlights, yeah.
But I have seen multiple clips of curling that were like kind of crazy impressive just from like this year's Olympics.
You know, it's weird. I'm not like crazy about the Olympics, but I feel like I usually do see more of the Olympics than I have this year. I think this is like the year I've seen the least amount of the Olympics.
That's weird because like you've had more time this year to watch the Olympics than in years past.
Maybe that's why though. Maybe it's like I have a normal schedule and then it's like my free time. I'm like, let's just sit and like watch the Olympics, right? And now I'm like, I got things to do. I got stuff to get done, you know?
Like in some ways having more time is making you have less time.
Yes. I think
that actually can be a thing. I've seen, I don't know if this is true. I don't know if this is true, but I've seen stuff before that talked about like there are trends, not always, but trends where people will get less done on their day off than they do on like the time around it, like the time after they get off work kind of stuff or things. Because
I think in some weird way when you're in a routine or you have that momentum because you're already up, you're already doing things, you know, versus when it's like, oh, I have all day.
Yeah, but there's this thing where like you can get often a lot of times people will get more done in like the 2 hours that they have like after work or whatever before like dinner or whatever, depends when you get off work and stuff, than they will on like the entire day they have off. And sometimes that could be because, you know, their day off, they're like, oh, it's my day off, I don't want to work. But even then, even if you are, it's like I've heard that can be the case for some people, and I'm like, it's weird. But like you said, it's probably the routine thing.
I think it's the routine. I think it's if you're already getting up and doing stuff and getting stuff done, like you said, I think it depends on the kind of day you've had. Obviously, if you've had a long, miserable day, you don't want to come home and like get a bunch of stuff done.
Well, and the person, and if you have like a preset plan of, oh, tomorrow's my day off and I got all these things I need to get done, like that's obviously going to skew things.
I was going to tell you, we cleaned the garage out, and like our garage is pretty clean.
I was going to say, there's not really anything in your garage, much.
Not much, but it was like getting behind like the table saw and stuff.
You have a table saw?
Cabinet. Well, like a chop saw, not like a...
Those are completely different tools.
Yeah, I realized when I said it, I was like, no, I mean like a chop saw, not like a table saw.
I was gonna say those are very, very different.
No, it's like I said it, and then after you said that, I was like, no, that's not what I meant. But anyway, cleaning behind it's because the chop saw is on a table, so my brain was just like,
okay, I'm gonna buy a hand saw, put it on a table, and be like, hey, you want to see my table saw? It lives here on the table. I call it a table saw because it's my saw on the table.
Okay, but how do you use it? Does it stay on the table when you're using it?
Well, it depends, right? Because if you're cutting something like a 2x4, then yeah, because you'd want to like prop it such that you can cut it. So yeah.
Okay.
Do you also define all of your just household things based on what you use it on?
Yeah.
So you don't have a toaster, you have a counter toaster?
Yeah, exactly.
As opposed to your floor toaster?
As opposed to the floor toaster, which is very dangerous.
Can you imagine though? Someone walks into your house, you're like, this is my counter toaster. This is my floor toaster.
You can use the floor toaster. Anyway, I was just trying to tell you how we cleaned out our garage.
Okay.
Because we cleaned our garage, but we got to sweep behind everything. And it's wild how just opening the garage door to pull the car in and back out, how many leaves got stuck in our garage? It's wild.
Yeah, I wouldn't know that. I don't have trees with leaves.
We swept out so many leaves. It's insane. But it feels amazing in the garage now. It feels so clean.
Yeah. Well, I have that happen with just like dirt, because like you live on paved roads, I live on a dirt road, but like I get that same thing with like dirt, that just driving in and out of like I almost call it parking garage, out of the garage, because it's the park.
Is it because you parked
context?
there?
It's context you use it for. No, but in and out of the garage, the
that's
amount
where
of
I park. That's the parking garage,
as opposed to the storage garage.
That's not the storage garage or the workshop garage.
Exactly.
That's the parking garage.
I'm suddenly on board with your whole thing.
Thank you.
But the amount of like dirt that gets built up in there that I constantly have to be like sweeping out of the garage, and it's not even like it's from like the wind or anything like that. Mostly it's just like the tracking in dirt from like the tires over time, which is dumb, because there's a part of me that's like, if you're tracking the dirt in, couldn't you by logic then track the same dirt back out when you leave?
I mean, the thing is, you probably do to some extent.
Obviously not the
you
same
just
amount.
don't notice it because it's all dirt. No, I think definitely not to the same amount.
I'm just saying, I want it to track the same amount of dirt in and out, so I don't have to clean it.
I don't ever have to clean it. The parking garage gets dirty.
The parking garage does get dirty though,
It does.
Can you imagine?
Well, no, I can't.
Ever? You can't imagine anything?
Ever. Nope.
Oh.
I gave up on that as a child.
You gave up on your dreams really early then, huh?
I never imagined them to start with.
You didn't have an imagination?
No, not at all.
Oh.
No imagination. Anyway,
well, that explains a lot about you. About? Anyway,
yeah.
I was just saying, can you imagine like you're a rich billionaire, you have this big old huge mansion, and then instead of having like a garage, you just have like a traditional like 2-story parking garage on your property?
If I was a billionaire and I had parties all the time, which like why wouldn't you as a billionaire, right? Because I'd put a parking structure in. Except I think I'd want it to be an underground parking structure.
So that it's not an eyesore.
Parking garage. Yeah, under the house. Like when you go downtown and you park like under the buildings.
Speaking of,
I think I'd want that. Downtown or parking under buildings?
Neither. Is that what you get when you combine a cyclops and a dinosaur?
Cyclops and a dinosaur.
An eyesore?
Oh, an eyesore.
Or is that what Apple would call their if they ever released a personal flight device?
Eyesore. I like that one more. That's better.
Or is that what a caveman said after he came home from his first day of exercise?
It's like third favorite.
Oh, well, that was worst of the three. Okay. Well, then maybe it's a... Nope, I'm all out. I got no others.
I'm impressed that you got that far, to be honest.
3 jokes out of that,
really good. Yeah, that was really good. I'm impressed.
I think the Cyclops one is actually my favorite. The Apple one in some ways makes more sense, but...
The Apple one I feel like you could use more often. You know what I mean? But the Cyclops one was great. The Caveman one you could just get rid of altogether.
Nah, you gotta have it there because they say comedy comes in 3s.
They say that, but they also say a lot of other things. So
comedy comes in... Does that mean if you go to a joke shop...
and they only have 2 acts?
Does all of their products come in 3-packs? Because they should.
It should.
Because comedy comes in 3s.
It should come in 3-packs.
If I ever
they tell you their third trip is the one that's gonna work.
If I ever own a joke shop, every like 3rd trip is gonna have some sort of bonus, like 10% discount, and also I'm gonna have like all my products come in 3-packs so that the comedy comes in 3s.
Is your joke shop gonna be called 3rd Time's the Charm?
No, because that sounds like a used something shop. So it's used like. My first thought was like used wedding ring shop, but I'm like, that seems depressing.
Isn't that just like a
pawn shop?
Not like a pawn shop. No, I was thinking antique store or something too.
I mean, is a pawn shop and an antique store not the same thing? Just one's much bougier.
No, because a pawn shop is sometimes things that are more current.
That's true.
Pawn
like shop
a pawn shop
old stuff. Yeah.
And I think it depends if you're trying to sell it or pawn it. You know what I mean?
That's true. Because like even though generally speaking, pawn shops function in like in a way where it's like you're just selling stuff for cheap. Aren't they at their core supposed to be some sort of like almost like a loan system where you're like give them a thing for money and then you can come back and get your thing back if you give them the money back?
Yeah. So basically you can, because they sell stuff like a thrift store. But then you can also go in and say, hey, I need $1,000. And they'll be like, great, bring me something worth $1,000 and I'll give it to you. Because then if you don't come bring the $1,000
it's like collateral
back,
at a bank,
and they can
right,
sell
basically?
your item. Yeah. Yeah, except, you're just giving them the physical collateral.
Not going to lie.
Like,
I don't know if I've ever been in a pawn shop.
No?
Yeah, I don't know if I have. Weird. Does that make me suddenly sound like bougie? I don't know.
I don't know. How often do you go to thrift shops?
Oh, I grew up going to thrift stores all the time. Like the bigger ones, like Like, I'm drawing blanks on names, but like, the bigger thrift stores. I used to go to those all the time as a kid, but we didn't go to like pawn shops.
Well, I was going to say multiple things. I think it depends on probably where you grew up, because I will say certain parts of town I felt like had more pawn shops than others. I also think it depends on what you're looking for. Because pawn shops and thrift stores have all sorts of items, but I feel like depending what you're looking for, you want to go to one or the other also,
Speaking of chess, how do we get on pawn shops? That feels fitting.
Okay, I was trying to make that connect. I'm not making the connections today, because I thought this was gonna be like the speaking of, and when I said earlier, I'm like this or that, and you're like neither. I was like, okay. I thought this was gonna be the same thing. Speaking of chess, and I'm like, are we?
Well, no, but that's just like because the pawn shop. I was just like, we got a theme. Anyway, how do you feel about the Pope? No, I'm kidding. So we can get bishops in there.
I do miss the Queen, so there's that.
Oh, because of chat. You said I missed the Queen, and my first thought was, she's not a bishop. I don't know why.
That's why I called her the Queen.
I don't know why my brain forgot about the Queen. I was so locked on the bishop part. Oh. She does live in a castle, though, and or not a rook, because I don't know the difference in name. What is a rook, other than the name in chess? Is it actually like a type of castle?
I mean, is it what that part of the castle looks like?
No.
I don't know.
A rook is a bird. That's helpful. A gregarious Eurasian crow with black plumage and a bare face, nesting in colonies in treetops. Well, that's exactly what I was looking for. No, I want to know why a rook is called a rook.
It's a Parisian word.
Oh. Rook, meaning chariot. As it originally represented a war chariot before evolving into the castle-like shape in Europe that we know today. Okay. That explains why it's not called a castle, it's called a rook. But that does mean that it should really still be called a castle, because the version of chess that we play is a castle, not a rook.
Yeah. So I think you should only be allowed to call it a rook when you're playing with a Parisian chess set.
Or a tower, maybe. We could call it a tower because it is more tower-shaped. Maybe a battlement.
Battlement, yeah.
A bastion. No, because bastions have the bridges that connect them. I think it is just like a battlement. What is that shape? Is it just a tower, or would it just be a battlement?
I have absolutely no idea.
Like if a classic chess set's rook was an actual structure, what would it be called? Let me Google this. You vamp for a moment.
Vamp. Can I take you on a horrible journey?
Sure. You do every time you speak to me anyway.
I was told a story recently. It didn't happen to me. It happened to my mom.
Okay.
So she has a puppy. He's fine. I just want to preface the story with he's fine. Don't worry about the puppy.
Well, okay. Interrupting. But according to Google, it would probably be called a turret. Anyway, continue.
Oh, turret. Yeah, okay. That's fine. So my mom's puppy. Adorable.
Uh-huh.
I haven't actually met him, but he looks really cute.
Okay.
But she said, so he's like 8 months old.
Okay.
And she said the other day, he's chewing on something. And she's like, oh no, puppies, right? And so she goes over to him and she's like, okay, spit it out, right? And normally he'll spit out whatever he's chewing on. And he doesn't really, like he tries to, but he doesn't. And so my mom's like, okay, I'm gonna have to stick my finger in there and fish it out, right?
Yeah.
And so she goes in to fish it out. And it's like on the side of his
More
mouth.
akin to noodling than fishing, but yeah.
Yeah. And he's on the side of his cheek and she can see it. It's like the part of a zipper, right?
Okay.
And so she goes to grab it. It's zipped to the inside of his cheek.
Ah.
He got a whole piece of zipper zipped to his mouth.
Ouch.
I don't even know what to do about that.
Yeah, that sounds unpleasant.
Yeah, she said she tried to like reach in there and like, see if she could move it at all. And it wasn't moving. Like that was it. And so he just like, every time she's like not trying to get out of his mouth, he's just like chewing on it, right? Because it's just like right there in the inside of his cheek.
Was he not like acting like it was painful?
I guess not. She didn't say anything about him acting. And like when she saw him chewing, she was just like, he has something, but he wasn't like yelping or anything.
I would think they would act like that was painful.
Right.
Because like the idea of that sounds quite painful.
Doesn't that sound awful? And like, can you imagine the string of events? Like, I get how it happened, right? I mean, I understand how it happened, but also the string of events that led to this happening is like unreal. Like what are the chances?
First off, how do you get a zipper?
Like, how
especially
do you get
a zipper that like
zipper?
not only is just the zipping part, but like both sides as well.
How did he pinch it over his cheek? You know what I mean?
Well, because that means you had to have somehow gotten a hold of like the part of a zipper that has like both sides and the zipping part, and then somehow gotten that in your mouth in a way that you could zip it onto your cheek.
Yeah, like you have to have enough of the teeth to zip it onto your cheek, and it was just like, that's what I'm saying. The string of events. It's like, yes, I understand logically how we got there, but the string of events, like, what were the chances we got there? You know what I mean?
What? That's wild.
Yeah, so he's fine. They got the zipper out, but she had to call her vet and be like, so my dog has a zipper stuck to his cheek.
My dog has zippered himself.
Yeah.
Now I'm picturing, okay, you know the whole joke of like the zip it and you like do the zippers across your mouth? I'm like, what if you somehow managed to like accidentally get a zipper in your mouth and then zip your lips together because it got both sides caught in the zipper?
My mom said her boyfriend, whenever the dog's like, you know, barking and like being silly, he'll just be like, zip it. And mom was like, that's so mean. A poor dog.
I mean, yes, but if it were a person, you know that person would never live it down.
Oh, never. Mainly because I'd be like, why are you eating zippers?
Why were you chewing on a zipper in the first place? Yeah, that's a very valid question. If you had to chew on a fastening method for something, what fastening method would you choose to chew?
Ooh, I don't want, and I have like a weird irrational fear of zippers getting stuck to my cheek. But then you could choke on a button.
Well, buttons have holes in them, though.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So like you'd be fine.
Yeah, you'd be fine, probably.
You would suffocate, probably. Yeah, I would rather not. Let's just not chew on things like that.
Nah, I got the answer for you. It's a really easy answer, actually. You chew on, like a shoelace, like a string, or like a hoodie string, because people already do that anyway. And then you can chew on one end, but if you got choking on it, you can always just grab the other end and pull it back out, you know?
Oh, like that gross thing when people put string, mostly spaghetti, and they go up through their nose. Like, you know what I'm talking about?
I know people have done that. I don't even know how you do that. I'm like, how do you get it to go up into your nose?
Oh, that's so gross.
Now, I have, as a child, done that thing where you'll, like, swallow a bunch of spaghetti, but you still got the end, and then you pull it back out.
Yeah, I hate the up through the nose thing.
Both of those are very strange, and they're the kinds of things that, as an adult, you're like, ugh. But, like, I don't even know how you do that. Like, even the people that can do that, like intentionally, like, have liquid come out of their nose or whatever, I'm like, how? How do you learn to do that?
But why would you want to?
A, why would you want to? Awful. And B, how do you have some control over, like, your muscles such that you can cause that to happen?
Ugh, I don't know. That's gross. People are gross.
People are gross. Like, even, it's kind of terrible, but right, like, when you actually think about it, people in general, just like human beings in general, are kind of just, like, gross.
Yeah.
A lot of the things people do are kind of just like, ugh, that's gross. Why?
Oh.
Even the things you do. If you actually thought about it from like an outside perspective, and not even things like,
I thought you were attacking me specifically.
Well, no, but I'm not even talking like extenuating like weird things. I'm just saying like normal human stuff.
Yeah.
That if you actually think about it from like an outside perspective is kind of gross.
What was I don't remember my cousin's daughter. She's like 8, but she was trying to tell me something gross about humans. I don't remember what it was now, but then I told her about how you have little mites that live on your face.
Well, not just your face, but yeah.
Yeah, but I was talking specifically like your eyelashes and stuff like that. And I thought we were just sharing fun facts about how gross the human body is. And I wish I could remember what she told me first, because it was similar enough. I don't want you to think I'm just like traumatizing a child. But I told her about that because I thought the way we were having this conversation, I thought she would find that fascinating.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, did you realize that you have little mites just like all over, right? And it's like there's a whole like ecosystem on your skin. Tiny little critters that
crawl all over you. Yeah.
She looked so horrified. And I am like, oh no. Did I just unlock something?
You're like, I just traumatized this child. I'm so sorry.
She's going to be like obsessively like scratching or like washing her face or something because she's going to be like, I got to get all the little mites off.
You have officially traumatized this child. You told her there's little tiny critters.
I felt so bad because like I said, I wish I could remember what she said to me because
again, it was another like gross, just like human body fact kind of thing that she like learned at school, you know?
Yeah, but like
that,
in your brain, you're like equally as weird, and apparently in her brain, it's
yeah,
not
I'm
equally
like,
as weird.
we're just sharing how gross humans are. And I tell her, and like her face, she just looked horrified. Like I don't know. It was awful. I felt really bad.
Well, you also have to take into account that, like, for a lot of people, weird, creepy, or not weird, creepy, like, gross things are different than bugs. Like, saying there's little tiny critter, bug-like creatures crawling all over you can be a lot, like, creepier to a lot of people than, like, the idea of just gross things.
That's true.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a level of, I can see why, but I also can see why your brain would be like, yeah, but it's just, we're sharing fascinating, interesting things. And they're like, that's horrifying. Why would you say this to me?
We're just sharing
She's
fun
like,
facts.
you realize I'm a child, right? I don't need to know this.
Okay. But that's what I was going to say. It's like sometimes, and I think it's maybe because I'm not a parent. Sometimes you are talking to kids, and especially like when they're older kids like that, right?
Yeah.
Like they're still a kid, but they're older. They're not like a toddler. And like you're just talking about stuff, and then you share something, and you as an adult, it's very like, yeah, I've known this my whole life, right? But you just like, you kind of forget as like a kid that maybe that's really overwhelming.
You don't process how much that's like a mind-blowing thing that's not necessarily in a good way.
Well, I was going to say too, because not even like sharing facts or anything, but sarcasm. And what's really hard is I am a sarcastic person.
No,
and
really?
So sometimes, no. And so sometimes when I talk to kids, it's like I have to really like think about it and like, you know what I mean? Like be very conscious not to be sarcastic, because like other kids, okay, my nephew specifically, he doesn't take sarcasm great.
Well, because there's a level of, do they even understand you're being sarcastic? It's like whether or not they're even capable of like understanding that.
So he doesn't typically know if you're being sarcastic, which like if I say something and then I realize like maybe he didn't really, I immediately tell him I'm just kidding. I'll be like, oh, I'm so sorry. I was just kidding, right? But even then, it's like every once in a while you can see that he is just like bothered by it. Like it hurt him emotionally. And I feel terrible about it.
You should, as you should, Kassi.
Yeah, and I do feel terrible about it because I do love that kid. And but it's just like when you're teasing with like older kids, like teens and adults and stuff, it's just like they get it. And then you talk to like a little kid, and I don't know. I don't like to talk to little kids. Like they're not people. I know some people do that. It's weird to me. But yeah,
not gonna lie,
and I feel bad about it.
The way you started that second sentence kind of sounded like you were like, I don't like talking to little kids. End of sentence.
Little kids are fun. They think everything's new and exciting, and then they're horrified to find out about face mites. I tell that to an adult, they're just like, hey, cool.
Unless you tell it to an adult that didn't know that and has somehow gone their whole life not knowing that, and then they're even more horrified.
Oh, that's true. I feel like it's horrified on it. I don't know. I just feel like as an adult, you realize how terrible things are.
Wow.
It sounds
what a
so
like
dark. I'm not
depressing take, Kassi.
I'm like a pessimistic person, but I just feel like it's like you just even finding out about like mites, right? It's like you're like, yeah, that's creepy, and maybe you're bothered for like a minute, but you're really not. Like you move on. There's bigger things in life.
Out of curiosity,
like, that's not the worst thing that's happening.
How would somebody that's like got a phobia of like bugs handled and finding that out? Would they just be like destroyed for the rest of their life? Would they just not be able to function?
Probably. Like I said, they probably start developing like a tick where they
not a tick. Anything but a tick.
Anything but a tick. Where they just are like, I don't know, it constantly pops in their mind and they're having to like wash their face all the time.
I'm just
like, whatever.
Okay, so this is terrible. This is terrible. But all I'm picturing is someone who's terrified of bugs figuring this out, and every time it pops in their head, they're just like start screaming and running off. And they're like, what happened? It's like, oh, they remembered they're covered in bugs.
Yeah. I would love to be the person that has to explain that every time they're like, I have to leave. Just abruptly. People are like, what's wrong with them? And you're like, oh, they just remembered they're covered in bugs.
Not even the like, I'm not even picturing like the the saying I have to leave. I think I'm picturing like they start screaming every time. I just think it'd be so funny. I mean, terrible for them. Suck to be that person, but like it'd be kind of funny to be like just every time you're like in the room, they're just like talking, and suddenly they just start screaming and run out of the room to the bathroom and start like scrubbing. And they're like, "What happened?" They're like, "They remembered they're covered in bugs."
Right? Yeah. I'm just.
And then the person you're talking to is like, "Wait, what?" And then they freak out.
They're covered in bugs, and you're like, "Yeah, you know the little teeny tiny mites," and then they're like, "What?"
They're like, "What?" You're like, "Yeah, you know, it's like skin mites or whatever they're called."
Demodex mites.
Is that what they're called?
So that's what they're called. Well, this is great. Apparently, almost all adults carry them. So maybe I can let her know that. Be like, don't worry, I don't think you even have it.
You should.
I think
even if it's not necessarily true because you haven't actually verified, you should still just let her know that just for her peace of mind.
You can get rid of them.
Do you want to? I don't know. I thought like that was one of those things that was actually good for your skin because they ate like other things or something.
Who knows, man? Who knows? Who knows what's good for you or not? Oh, see, this says, if you have intense itching, raised bumps, redness, irritation, inflamed eyelids, and
inflamed eyelids? That's a weirdly specific one.
Yeah, then you should get them treated because that can often mean there's an overgrowth of them.
Huh.
So you should get that looked at. So if any listeners have inflamed eyelids, please go to your dermatologist.
Okay, then.
But yes, this says most skin mites are a normal part of your ecosystem. So please, they do not cause you harm, typically. And
unless you have inflamed eyelids.
Unless you have some weird itching, scratching, all that kind of stuff, then you should go see a doctor. This is from the University of...
Did you just say
Reading?
University?
I have no idea what I said. University of Reading?
You said University.
The university, so it's legit.
You know it's legit if you went to a university. You can be like, I'm so smart, I went to university.
I want to do... Oh, I'm sorry. Can I bring up one more thing?
No.
I heard about, like, I guess kids don't have accents anymore.
Okay.
Have you heard about this?
No.
Yeah, because the internet is, like, so prevalent in children's lives now.
Yeah.
That they watch, you know, like, whatever, Mr. Beast or whatever kids watch. And
you really are out of touch, aren't you? But okay.
I don't know. I know my nephew tells me about Mr. Beast, so that was really the only reason I said
okay.
that. But what do you think kids watch? Sorry, tangent.
Flippy? Depends on the age you're referring to.
I was referring to 6-7-year-olds. No, I don't.
Did you just... How dare you? This is why we're not really friends.